Greetings to everyone, I'm Walong from University Science Malaysia. Today I would like to present about the influence of economic factors on Malaysia gold price. First of all, let us start with a little bit background of gold, which gold has a high value for jewelry that contain a unique store value and proof as a symbol of power, social status, wealth, and strength in human community. So, this research hold intending to study the relationship or influence of economic factors which include gross domestic product, GDP, inflation rate, and broad money growth rate towards gold price in Malaysia. Although there are still some study in the past, however, most of them are more towards other countries such as United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. The past study on economic trends cannot be assumed to have the same effect in Malaysia, since Malaysia is a country that is still under development, and Malaysia's economic trends are different if compared with other developed countries. In this research, we have set research questions which are: how does the gross domestic product (GDP) influence gold price in Malaysia? Second, how does the inflation rate influence gold price in Malaysia? And third, how does the broad money growth rate influence gold price in Malaysia? As for the research objective for this research, which include to investigate the influence between gross domestic product (GDP) and gold price in Malaysia, to analyze the influence between inflation rate and gold price in Malaysia, to evaluate the influence between broad money growth rate and gold price in Malaysia. Literature review has discussed the method which have been used in the past by other researchers who have organized the research or study with a similar topic and theoretical framework to their study, which it will help the readers to understand the relationship between independent variables and dependent variables. In this study, we own three independent variables that include gross domestic product, GDP, inflation rate, and broad money growth rate, while our one and only dependent variable is gold price in Malaysia. From the research framework above, we know that three hypotheses have been made, which include Hypothesis 1, the gross domestic product (GDP) is significantly and has a positive relationship with the gold price in Malaysia, while the second hypothesis is the inflation rate is significantly and has a negative correlation with gold price in Malaysia. Furthermore, our third hypothesis is broad money growth rate is significant and has a negative correlation with gold price in Malaysia. As for the methodology parts, we will go through the explanation of methodologies, discuss the research design, data collection method, variable measurements, sampling design, data processing, and the data analysis of this study. All the data used in this research was secondary data that is taken or get from various secondary sources that are readily available. We also have made sure that the value of data was proved and reliable. Furthermore, this research data is applied in a yearly time series, which is 10 years start from the years 2012 until the years 2021. As for reference, the data used in this research was gathered through World Bank data, the official report and Ministry of Economy Department Statistics in Malaysia, macroeconomy trends, Yahoo Finance, and gold price watch. While the steps of the data processing include: firstly, the data collection from various secondary sources. Second, data collected from various secondary sources will be organized, computed, and rearranged in the correct sequence based on year. Third, once the data has been arranged, it will go through descriptive analysis, correlation analysis, and data visualization. Fourth, the discussion and conclusion will be made based on the result of data analysis that have been analyzed. As for the result and discussion part, we will go through the descriptive analysis, correlation analysis, and data visualization result. Through the descriptive analysis, we can state that this research has a right and positive square figure with a standard error of 0.687. Next, from the correlation analysis above, we know that gross domestic product in Malaysia has a negative relationship with inflation rate, which is negative 0.267, but gross domestic product (GDP) in Malaysia has a positive relationship with both the broad money growth rate and average gold price per gram in Malaysia, which is stated as 0.139 and 0.523 rate respectively. As for the inflation rate, it has a positive relationship with broad money growth rate in Malaysia, which is 0.03, but a negative relationship with average gold price per gram in Malaysia, which is negative 0.484. Meanwhile, the table observed that broad money growth rate has a negative relationship with average gold price per gram in Malaysia at a rate of negative 0.157. Furthermore, through data visualization, we found out that gross domestic product has a positive relationship with the average gold price in Malaysia from the year 2012 until the year 2021. However, the average gold price in Malaysia from the year 2012 to the year 2021 has shown a negative relationship with inflation rate and broad money growth rate respectively. Lastly, in the conclusion, we can conclude that all our hypotheses that we have made earlier has been supported through the data analysis. Besides, this research has broad implications in Malaysia from various perspectives. The first perspective is the perspective of potential gold investor and gold holder. This research paper will help them to have a better understanding of changes in gold price during economic change in Malaysia. Next, from the perspective of future researcher, the impact of this research will provide a reference and a different perspective for their future research. Furthermore, from the perspective of the policymakers and the government, the impact or effect that this research brings includes improving the policies for the gold price and always to obtain gold in Malaysia. However, during the research, we have faced some limitations of the research, which include: first, the research data analysis only can be used to measure the effects and relationship between economic factors and gold price in Malaysia, but not for other countries. The research data only can be used to prove the relationship between certain economic factors and gold price in Malaysia. Second, only 3 independent variables are selected to test or examine their effects and relationship to the changes in the gold price in Malaysia from the year 2012 until the year 2021. While there are still many economic factors and non-economic factors that have not yet been tested. Third, most of the gold holders and researchers in Malaysia are lacking of knowledge about the changes in gold price, especially when the changes towards the economy. They do not have enough knowledge that gold price will fluctuate when economic trends change when they invest in the gold. Thanks for lending your ear. That's all for my presentation. Thank you.